Hello. Um, first, first video in the AI financial ops FinOps series. We're going to be looking at Vercel and V0 today, um, using a little bit of Cursor 2.0 as well. But really, that spot's going to be taken by the next project, which is entirely Cursor. Um, but yeah, let's get right into it. Another project from 21 and 21 project in 21 days. Alright, so project title is Ship a Landing Page with V0 and Vercel. So we're going to build an e-commerce landing page with AI, deploy with one click, and get automatic HTTPS and edge protection. The same infrastructure that Notion and plenty of other AI platforms use. Vercel super popular across heaps of stuff. Like so many big companies rely on it for hosting, and V0 is a part of the ecosystem. It's a there's a few popular ones like Base 44 is another one. Lovable. They're just for building pages, like a web app effectively, but pages based on prompts in a browser, and we're going to be doing that and exporting it and then doing some sort of fine tuning, and then at the end using the Vercel platform to look at analytics. So this is a pretty easy project. Should take about 45 minutes if you're just going through it. It'll take me a bit longer because I'm going to be talking out loud. It's free. There's no cost involved. You can pay for Vercel, but and all the other things, but we're going to be sticking to the free tiers for these. So a 30-second summary: Notion ships hotfixes in 15 minutes. That's a very short period of time, by the way, for such a big company. No server configs, no SSL headaches, no firewall rules, just push the code and it's live. That's the power of modern deployment platforms like Vercel. You get HTTPS, DDoS protection, and global edge catching out of the box. Enterprise infrastructure without the enterprise setup. In this project, you'll be building a landing page the same way startups do. Describe what you want in plain English, let AI generate the code, and deploy it with one click. By the end, you'll have a live site with real security features and a workflow you can use for any future project. I think that's the biggest selling point for me, is the fact that this project, I mean, the outcome is an e-commerce site, which you can, if you want to continue on with, you could, but it's a really, really good workflow you build, or you understand by building this. So yeah, definitely very applicable if you want to use this elsewhere. If you're not so confident with writing your own code by scratch, or from scratch, sorry. Or you just want to do it quickly too. Very valid use case. Cool. So what you'll build in this project, you'll use v0.dev to generate complete e-commerce, a complete e-commerce landing page, deploy it to Vercel with automatic security, and set up proper development patterns in Cursor 2.0. Is v0.dev free? v0.dev is the site. v0 is the that's the URL. The platform is just called v0. It's a free tier that's perfect for this project. You can generate multiple iterations of your design without paying anything. Great. Why Vercel for deployment? So Notion and thousands of startups ship on Vercel because it handles the boring but critical security work automatically. So that's SSL certifications, DDoS protection, edge caching. Notion went from an hour-long hotfixes. So deploying something, maybe there was, I don't know, something wrong with their the way they deal with notes, and they want to fix that. It's a very small thing, maybe. So that took an hour. After them switching to Vercel, it took only 15 minutes. You get enterprise level infrastructure without any configuration, freeing you to focus on building, not maintaining servers. So if you're new to AI assisted development, you don't need any prior experience with React or Next.js. V0 generates production-ready code from plain English descriptions. This project teaches you the workflow professionals use to ship fast. Yeah, and then, like as I said, we're going to go into using Cursor 2.0, which is Cursor's newest. It is very similar to Cursor, not 2.0, but there are a few new really cool features that we can use to look into this AI-generated V0 web page, and then figure out if, well, not figure out, we're going to make some changes and understand it. How you'll build it. So first you'll generate a complete e-commerce site with V0, then you'll deploy it to Vercel, get enterprise security features automatically. Finally, you'll set up local development with Cursor 2.0 and establish patterns for handling secrets safely. So this is sort of the outline of what we're achieving. So we're going to, that's us on the left, describing to v0.dev what we're going to be doing. Then React is the framework that we're going to be using that Vercel works so closely with. And as seen here, we've got HTTPS, DDoS, and edge caching, and that's going to be on our live website. So whenever we make a change over here, it's going to deploy, and then we're going to see it live on our website, which is cool. By the end of this project, you'll have a live landing page with product and checkout pages ready for payment integration, automatic security, HTTPS, DDoS protection, and edge caching from Vercel, environment variable patterns established for handling secrets safely, and the secret mission, if you choose to do it, is performance monitoring with Vercel speed insights. Cool. So we're going to do the high touch mode, but there is also low and no touch mode if you want. Cool. So there's a quiz here. Feel free to do it before you start, but we'll do it at the end. And keep going down. So what are we doing in this project? In this project, I'm going to set up a e-commerce web app using V0. V0.dev is a web app made by Vercel that allows you to turn plain or just to prompt web pages. Prompt AI to create web pages. Vercel provides a hosting platform for, it's not just V0, it's anything, you can just do it. I mean, they started much before V0 was even a thing. V0 is a relatively recent addition, but they work quite closely, but you're definitely a platform for hosting. So keep it general, say websites. This is useful because it means I don't need to worry about maintaining servers, security, etc. for my web apps. Cool. So in this project, I'm setting up an e-commerce web app using V0. V0.dev is a web app made by Vercel that allows you to prompt AI to create web pages. Vercel provides hosting platforms for websites, or Vercel provides a way of hosting websites. This is useful because it means I don't need to worry about maintaining servers, security, etc. for my web apps. Cool. So now we're going to build our landing page with AI. Time to ship like the pros. You'll use v0.dev to generate a complete e-commerce landing page from plain English. The main AI tool developers use prototype minutes instead of days. So in the step, get ready to create a Vercel account linked to GitHub, generate a landing page using v0.dev, create product and checkout pages with Stripe placeholder. So in this step, I'm going to create a Vercel account, and create a landing page plus checkout / payment page. v0.dev generates code I can host on Vercel. I need a Vercel account because it will allow me to host using Vercel. So in this step, I'm going to create a Vercel account and create an e-commerce landing page and a checkout and payment page. v0.dev generates code I can host on Vercel. I need a Vercel account because it will allow me to host using Vercel. So we're going to create a Vercel account. If we don't have one, I do, but if you don't have one, you can follow these steps. It's important to link it to GitHub. That's how we'll be hosting this. So, sorry, not hosting. That's where we'll be holding all the files. We're using GitHub for our version control for this project. But if you don't have a GitHub account, you can follow these steps and go and create one. And if you do, you can go down this route as well. But I do have a Vercel account. So I'll just head to Vercel. So head to there and sign in. I can sign out, and then I can sign back in. So I'll just continue with Google or the same thing, really, email or Google. I've used a Google account to sign up for this, so that'll work. Cool, so signed in. And now we're going to check if we have GitHub already linked, because you've got a Vercel account doesn't necessarily mean it's linked, but we want that to be the case for this. So we'll go up here, and we'll go into account settings, and then we'll go to authentication. We can see GitHub is linked here, so we're all good. If you don't have GitHub linked, there'll be a button just like there is for GitLab or Bitbucket, or Bitbucket, sorry. You can click on that, and then you can go and, I won't go through with this, but you can go and follow the steps on here to go and link it. It'll just get you to select repositories. Cool, but we're all good. We've got GitHub linked, so good to go. So now we're going to go to v0.dev. v0.dev is Vercel's AI-powered UI generation tool. It creates production-ready React/Next.js code from natural language prompts. So you actually don't need two different accounts. It's one account. That's what this explanation is getting across. So we'll close this for now. We'll come back to it a bit later. We'll head over to this. I can also, I'll also log out of this. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Signed in. Yeah, it automatically signed in because I just signed into Vercel before. But you can enter your email there. You can go through GitHub or Google. It depends how you set up your Vercel account. And you might be prompted to link with a code through email. Since I signed in so recently, I wasn't prompted to do that, so I'll just keep going. Cool, so we can see we're signed in. We can see this sort of like little profile on the top right. So we know we're all good. Cool, so we'll upload a screenshot of this. Upload that screenshot. Nice. Go, how does v0.dev connect to Vercel? I signed into v0 using my Vercel account. v0.dev creates web pages based on prompts given in plain language. So how does v0.dev connect to Vercel? I signed into v0.dev using my Vercel account because they're the same platform. v0.dev creates web pages based on prompts given in plain English. Cool. So now we're going to generate our e-commerce app. Now let's prompt v0 to create your application. The key is giving clear constraints to guide the output. In v0's prompt field, enter a prompt such as, you're more than welcome to go and customize this. I might just, I'll just down this now. To change this prompt if you want something different. This has already been designed for just a simple example, but you can really get quite creative around what you want. I think the important bits for the rest of the series, at least for the Stripe placeholder, but yeah, really you can play around with whatever you want to do. So while this generates, it should be maybe a minute or two, depending on what model you use. If you use a, oh, that's a question. We'll go with sure. What is v0 actually doing? It should be about a minute or so. It doesn't ask any more questions. If you depending on what model you select, it could be quicker or slower. Just be wary that if you're on the free tier, you're going to be, yeah, you can't ask. I've only got four more messages left today, but that we only need one hypothetically, so we should be all good. So we'll see it go through, and when it's doing that, when it's showing us this animation, behind the scenes v0 is analyzing your prompt, generating React components and styling them with Tailwind CSS, and then assembling them into a complete Next.js application, all from your plain English response. Sorry, prompt. Cool, shouldn't be too much longer. And yet you can also, as I said, you've got 4 prompts, so if you did want to go and change your design a few times, that's completely fine. I'll probably leave it once it finishes. Looks like it's finished now. Cool, so it's given us a landing page. Yeah, it's something. Definitely a landing page. So yeah, we can click on explore product. Cool, pretty generic. Click buy now. Yeah, we can see that there's a checkout. So yeah, I think we are good to go. Interesting design choice for sure. I would say I fall much more into this bucket, to be honest. And if you want to, you can totally go and edit the message, and you can go and change stuff, or you can just ask it more questions too. That's more questions, give it more prompts. For the sake of time, we'll leave this. I think it'll do for what we're trying to achieve. So I see generated components. So we will we'll just keep going. And yet there's no a secret in reference to like some sort of environment variable or anything you'd want to keep hidden for just, you know, like an API key. Just, you don't want to get billed or anything. There's nothing. It hasn't created anything for that, and that's totally fine. So we'll just take a screenshot of our app. and upload that here. So what did V0 generate for you? V0 generated, it was a landing page, a product page, and a checkout page. Oh, okay, the pages include a e-commerce web app. We can just copy and paste the rest of this to, I can customize by re-entering the same prompt, just editing it, or I can update, or I can send new messages to V0. Awesome. So now we're going to go live. So we're going to actually take this and deploy it onto a domain. So the landing page exists. It's been created in code. But no one can see it apart from us. So let's change that. In this step, we're going to deploy using Vercel and get the same infrastructure that big companies like Notion use to automatically give HTTPS, which is protection protocol, global CDN, DDoS protection, and more without configuring anything. Cool. So in this step, get ready to export your V0 project to GitHub, deploy to Vercel with one click, and access your live site with HTTPS. In this step, I'm going to, I'll start with export my V0 website onto or project onto GitHub. V0 automatically provides HTTPS, global CDN, DDoS, and DDoS protection without configuring anything. So what are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm going to export my V0 project onto GitHub, and Vercel automatically provides HTTPS, global CDN, and DDoS protection without configuring anything. Cool. So we're going to go export to GitHub. So V0 can push your generated project directly to GitHub to a new GitHub repository. In V0, click the GitHub icon in the top bar. So we'll go back to this, and you can see the GitHub connect branch there. And we'll have to, oh, my GitHub account popped up. There you go. So we'll then click Create Repository. Should take a second, and I'll not that this is required for this project, but I'll quickly jump over to GitHub so you can see the project creation once it's done that. And you're supposed to click Set Active Branch. But I'll just head to GitHub really quickly. So you can see this has been created and all the files have been uploaded to it, so good to go. And I think we would have seen it before, but I missed it. There should be a notification in the bottom right, or toast pop up, shows has been connected. So set the main branch as your active branch and click Set Active Branch. Click Set Active Branch, we did that. So in our case, the repository was created. If you're struggling, if you have any issues, you can go to the community. You can use the Ask feature here, or you can try some of these quick fixes. There could be something with the same name, perhaps. But yeah, definitely have it go to the community if you're ever stuck on anything or just want to talk, want to chat. Yeah, we're going to go down this route because it was all good. good for us. So upload a screenshot of your GitHub repository. So we'll just take a screenshot of this. You can click the view button here to get to it, or just go to your GitHub profile. Cool. So how did you export to GitHub? I exported my GitHub, my V0 project to GitHub by clicking and we'll say, and then linking my, oh, well, it was already linked, wasn't it? Because we did that at the start and we set up the account to GitHub. By clicking the GitHub icon on the top of the V0 menu, and what else do we do? We click that and then set the active branch to main. The repository contains the code required to publish my V0 project. Cool. So how did you export to GitHub? I exported my V0 project to GitHub by clicking the GitHub icon on the top of the V0 menu and set the active branch to main. The repository contains the code required to publish my V0 project. What do we say? To V0. Cool, so now we're going to deploy to Vercel so everyone can see your project. Cool, so we'll go back to Vercel and we can click publish, select as production, and then yeah, we can click publish to production. So this will take can take up to a minute, probably about that the first time, and then probably quite a bit less, or quite a bit less, maybe 15 seconds less by the time you've done it at least once, because it'll just start from building rather than the initializing step beforehand. And if you did want to remove branding or add a custom domain or a few other things like that, unfortunately you do need to pay for Vercel. But just for demoing, just getting the site up, it's free, totally free. Cool. So this will take another 30 seconds. There you go. It's live now. So we can actually visit the site immediately, and we can see this is live. So I could go and share this with anyone, put it on the Discord or anything, and then someone could go to visit this website. They could go explore the product and do whatever, get to here. So yeah, super cool. How fast that is, that process going from yeah, just prototype idea to a published web page. Yeah, super cool. So like I said, if you have any issues, you can totally follow down these tabs that we have here. Community is a great shot, and so is the ask feature, which is using this, ask your questions. But yeah, some common issues are like literal issues in the code, which may only pop up when you go and try actually deploy it, where Vercel is a different standard to V0. Missing dependencies, a similar thing. You can totally fix that in V0, or you could wait maybe a bit later until we go into Cursor 2.0. Yeah. But in our case, the deployment succeeded. We saw this sort of ready tag here. So good to go. So yeah, we can go and visit our site. Anyone can go look at what we've done. So that's real cool. And we can also check that it is secure, like we spoke about earlier on. If we click on this little icon here, we can see the connection is secure. And if we double click on this, we can see the HTTPS rather opposed to just HTTP, which is the sort of unsecure proxy for that. Awesome. So we can see the site with the padlock. Vercel provides HTTPS protection by default. Data in transit is encrypted. Their edge network includes DDoS protection. Also includes DDoS protection. So you get enterprise grade infrastructure without any of the configuration. Like, it was really, really simple to set that up, and it's got good protection. And yeah, it's important to take a moment to appreciate what just happened. Vercel now handles encrypted connections, so conversations effectively between your website and anyone else that's going to come into here. So if you go into here and you go look at network, like anything that goes off elsewhere, or if someone's coming in, is going to be encrypted. And DDoS protection, so if someone tried to overload your site with traffic, that would, that's one way of doing DDoSing. That wouldn't be a big issue. It still could be if you did it to a really high degree, but yeah, good protection there. And a continuous deployment. So I think it's a really important thing. Anything like this doesn't go offline or anything. Anytime you make a change, and we'll sort of utilize this a bit later on in the project. Anytime you make a change to anything in this repository, that could be changing a button, could be like redoing the entire thing, just pushing it to GitHub, and you can see here the V0 bot noted this. If you push it to GitHub, it'll automatically deploy or trigger a deployment, and then it'll update here. So we're going to experiment with that in a minute, but yeah, that's really a good thing, continuous deployment. So this is your security baseline, handled for you, not by you. Very good. So we're going to upload a screenshot of our live website. Very exciting. I might actually get the URL in here. It worked. What security features does Vercel provide? Vercel handles HTTPS, DDoS protection, and CDN. Should go after automatically, including the padlock. The padlock we're referring to is the one we spoke about in the previous step here. Yeah, so this is achieved when HTTPS is valid. So if I didn't have HTTPS, it wouldn't be, you wouldn't see that HTTPS is enabled, and thus or content sent and received is encrypted. Cool. So what security features does Vercel provide? Vercel handles automatically, including HTTPS, DDoS protection, and CDN. The padlock we saw earlier means that HTTPS is enabled, and thus content sent and received is encrypted. Very good. Should say security. I might delete that. Cool. So set up your dev workflow. Your site is live. Now let's make it yours. You'll clone this code locally, open it in Cursor 2.0, the AI-powered code editor we're using, and establish patterns real teams use, environment variables, secrets, git-based deployments, and AI-assisted coding. So in this project, or in this step, sorry, get ready to clone the GitHub repository locally, open the project in Cursor 2.0, and create .env, a .env file, .env.local file, for future secrets. Make changes with AI, assistance, and deploy. So in this step, I'm going to clone the V0 web app I made locally into Cursor. Create a .env.local for secrets and update the styling of the app using new Cursor 2.0 features. Cursor 2.0 helps by allowing us to edit component by component. Edit our web apps pages component by component. So what are we doing in this step? In this step, I'm going to clone V0 to clone the V0 web app I made locally into Cursor, create a .env.local for secrets, and update the styling of the web app using the new Cursor 2.0 features. Cursor 2.0 helps by allowing us to edit our web apps features, pages, component by component. Awesome. We're going to set up Cursor 2.0 now. So we'll run this sort of version command in terminal. This will tell us whether we have Cursor installed. So we can see I've got Cursor 2.0 installed. We're newer than 2.0. But if you don't, that's completely fine. There's explanations of how to install this for Windows and Mac. And we also go on in a little bit to talk about how you actually go and update Cursor. But it's just important you have it right now. They've got a handy update feature. Cool, so we're going to go and open Cursor now. Cool, should be just a second. Cool, so we can go into clone repository and we can, we'll put our GitHub username in here. I'll just go make sure, I think it's Kahubit. This one. Oh, press enter. So we'll click clone repository, and then we'll click clone from URL. We'll select our desktop. You can do anywhere, just wherever you keep your repositories is good. Cool. And then once we've cloned it, we'll just click into this web app and click open. We'll select folder to open it. Cool. So we've got our web app we got from V0 initially, pushed it to GitHub, and now we have cloned it onto our local machine, and we can now see it, all the stuff here. So if you see a git not found error, that just means you don't have git. It's totally fine though. You can go and download it from the GitHub, not GitHub, sorry, the Git downloads page. Once you've set it up and or downloaded it, you'll need to restart your IDE, so independent development environment, what that means, so your cursor, or whatever you're using. If you have any issues, you can use the ask feature again here, or you can go to the network community. So yeah, we selected that desktop as our desired location, and then we selected open, and we now see everything in here. Very good. So in this case, we see our project files. If you don't, that's completely fine. You might get a permission denied, or you could not found. Again, community is great. Ask feature is great. There's some cool quick double checks here. Sorry, for like usernames and whatnot. It can be easy things to mix up. But we'll go down this path because we're doing all good. So we're going to check cursor for updates now, as I said before. It's important for the rest of this that we can be on the right version. So we'll start with that. So we'll go into help in cursor and then click check for updates. There's no updates currently available. I just updated this, so that makes sense. Or updated it earlier today. So that's all good. But if there is, definitely download them. Shouldn't take very long, maybe a couple minutes, depending on Wi-Fi speed. But yeah, definitely need it for the rest of the project, so it's a good idea. So why do we actually need to do this? As I said, there's new features. So one of them is browser component editor. It's Figma for code. I think that's a pretty general thing. I feel like some designers would disagree with that, but I think it's that's the best way to describe it. Really, it's like a basic thing which lets you edit component by component. So as someone who's not a designer, yeah, that looks like that's what I would sort of anticipate Figma is similar to. Anyway, lets you select UI elements visually and feed them information about like the 300 tall or whatever, rather than going into the code, which if you're less familiar with programming, that can be a little scary. You don't know what you're changing, the effects of different things, but just being able to click and drag and do whatever can be a lot more friendly. And then it lets you feed those sort of translate the instructions of you moving things around into an instruction which is sent to the cursor chat. And this is done through the cursor browser. So this will shortly we're going to run something which is going to turn this into a browser. And we can see that the web app, and now we can make edits by clicking on things and whatnot. Cool. So before making any changes, let's get your app running locally. So I'll send off this prompt into the cursor chat over here. So what's going to happen is it's going to go and look at the package.json and other files and see what needs to be installed before we actually go and run the web app, and then it's going to run it on localhost. So we'll be able to see it inside of this browser and then click on things and go from there. But this can take a few minutes. It's pretty normal. There's quite a few packages required to do this, so yeah, just sit tight. You could get a pop-up like this asking you to run localhost. That's totally fine. It's definitely our goal. So if it does come up, then you can click run. If it doesn't, that's all good too. But definitely a possibility. Cool. There you go. So we can see our web app is running inside of our browser. Very good. Cool. So the app is running. So we'll stay on this tab, but if you have any issues around something not working, then definitely check out this tab here. This is the community and the ask feature again, and some basic troubleshooting if you need it. Could be a few things uninstalled, like Node.js, but yeah, we're all good to go. Cool. So we'll just upload a screenshot of the app running locally. So how did you run your app locally? I cloned my repo using git clone from my cursor IDE. Cursor's browser shows the web app I developed in V0 at the local, or running on localhost. Which is on my machine. We can also, I'll full screen this just for a second. We can also, if we go Control P, we can actually go to, if we go to this, we can actually check out the same app running not locally. So you can actually see it's the same thing, which is good. Cool. Close that for now. Very good. So how did you run your app locally? I cloned my repo using git clone from my cursor IDE, and cursor's browser shows the web app I developed in V0 running on localhost 3000 on my machine. I ran the web app by prompting cursor to run the app internally. Cool. So now we're going to actually make a change using the using cursor. So, well, cursor 2.0, more specifically the yeah, using the new feature, which is cursor's browser component editor, or one of the new features. There's Composer as well, which is a new model that they've put out. Yeah, so this is somewhat similar to how it is to work on Figma. Definitely not the same thing. You can't replace this with that, but it's a similar feel. Yeah, similar vibe I feel, because you can go and click on a component and drag it around and do all this sort of thing, resizing and whatnot. So first we're going to select or turn on the element select tool, and then we're going to click the CSS button here, inspector. I might zoom out a little bit just so we can see what's going on here. So this is the magic part. Instead of describing which component you want to change, which can often not go so well. If you said, oh, I want to change the button, what button, and that sort of thing, you can click on a button and one of the bits that'll get added here, and then you can go and say like, oh, change this button and really get that across. Obviously, you could say explore product button, but there are plenty of other situations where it could get confused. And the other interesting things we'll experiment with is, you can use this sort of angle thing here, so you can flip text, very basic things, or change it's not going to be very interesting, but for this component, say, you could change the width of it to match what you wanted, or however it's aligned, or the text inside of it is aligned, sorry, gaps and all sorts of things. And the CSS as well. which is, this probably looks relatively scary. A lot of stuff here that might not be as obvious. This is kind of what I mean. It's sort of a nice middle ground between, you know, rather than, you're not writing this code by hand, but you're also not just going and saying like, oh, just do this, create a tidy button with, average or whatever general specifications. You really understand what you're doing. So I think there's definitely a lot of value to that. I'm not going to go through all of this and explain what all of this does. Quite frankly, there's probably some stuff in here I don't know what it does. Or they're all pretty well named, so I could probably tell you. But yeah, not all of this is relevant, is what I'm trying to get across. But there's a lot of stuff in here we can see pretty easily does make a big difference. So yeah, there's plenty of things we can play around with. Yeah, so you can do anything here: make a component larger, add blur, change colors, adjust spacing. So in the example that we walked through in this project, we just rotate a button, that button in the middle there. And you can do that by, like it shows here, clicking on this angle and changing that. I might do some blur perhaps, maybe on this text over here. Maybe not that much. Is there not that you'd want your website to be like that, but maybe we can do it anyway. And then maybe we could, this is something I looked at when I saw this, these aren't the same size. Oh, there's some other components stopping it from lining up. That's okay. I won't spend too much time in here, as that's not really the goal for me to go and tidy up this web page, but definitely you can go and change a bunch of stuff for this, how things are aligned, how things are set up, if you want to, or you can totally just go and prompt cursor directly to make all the boxes the same size. But very often, as I'm sure people that have used these tools will understand, it doesn't get it's sometimes quite difficult to get your ideas across to it. So that's why tools like this, being able to select individual components and explain things, well, not explain things, just go and edit directly, can be super useful. These margins, maybe these are the same height. Just keep adding it to the thing. Cool. So again, not necessarily a great, well-designed web app, but maybe it looks a little nicer. The blur doesn't really make any sense, but that's fine. So we can click apply now at the top here, and cursor's going to go away and do these things. So yeah, that's good, and we'll see some changes here and then updates. In this case, we only saw, in the case we just flipped a component 180 degrees, we only saw just the rotate changed here, or a rotate tag got added. So yeah, not a big change. I think we'll see a bit more happening now. Yeah, and if we get asked to apply edits, that's all good. Awesome. Okay, so now, I don't know, kind of the like finish the loop idea is you're going to go and push this and then see this get applied. So I might close this and then I'll go open a new terminal. So I will, as a funny fact, you can do git add dot or git add dash capital A to add all. So we'll say updated landing page card sizing, and added blur. And we can, no, that would have worked anyway, but we're going to save everything up to date. Yep, all good. Okay, well, let's have a little look if this has worked. So I'm just going on to our GitHub repository. Cool. Cool. So we can see the page has been deployed, so that's great. If we hover over this, we can see deployed successfully. So now we can head back. We can view our site. Open it on this. Cool. So sorry about that. I pushed the wrong Git. But regardless, you can see the blur added here, deployed. You can see that it's come through here. So successful deployment. Yeah, so that's kind of the full magic, right? We added that blur. One of these things didn't quite manage to go through. That's just because cursor wasn't able to carry it out correctly for all screen sizes, but I digress. Really the important bit is the workflow here, not the cursor didn't carry out a change as we expected. Anyway, you can see it's worked, so that's great. I'll just pull up the project here. Cool, but in this demo we do in the project, we just do a simpler change, just rotating something. Then we push that, and then we see it come through on our Vercel dashboard. And we can see, in this case, going to the live URL, we see that it's upside down, so that's what we expected. Cool, so we'll upload a screenshot of this deployed change. You can see the before and after. Cool, so how does git-based deployment work? I use the browser component editor 2 ... to select a number of specific components and edit numerical values, blur type or blur size, or magnitude really. Blur magnitude, padding, I think that's what we did, and padding. After pushing to Vercel, automatically the website is deployed, and I can see my changes live. How good. Okay, so how does git-based deployment work? I use the browser component editor to select a number of specific components and edit the numerical values of them. So that was below magnitude and padding in our case. So after pushing, Vercel automatically Vercel makes sure automatically deploys the web app, and I can see my changes live. Cool. So now, secret mission time. We're going to enable real-time performance monitoring. Ever wondered why some websites feel instant while others make you wait? Slow sites don't just frustrate users, they cost money. A 1 second delay in a page load can reduce conversions by up to 7%. By now, you've deployed a live landing page with automatic HTTPS and security features. In this security mission, you'll enable Vercel Speed Insights, which is real user performance monitoring that tracks core web vitals, which are the same metrics Google uses to rank sites. So core web vitals are a set of metrics that from Google that measure user experience on a web page. Measure three aspects: loading, interactivity, and visual stability. So these are all different types of paint. We'll go into that in a second. How fast does the main content appear? How quickly does the page respond to clicks? And does the layout jump around while loading? So this is an example of the Vercel Speed Insights we're going to be building. You can see the different types of paint here. FCP, LCP, and INP. We'll jump into the secret mission. So in the secret mission, get ready to enable Speed Insights in Vercel. Add Speed Insights to your app with Cursor. Deploy your changes and review core web vital scores. So Web Insights Track. We can use the acronyms here. So FCP, LCP, and INP. Interactive Next Paint. Yep. Core Web Vitals measure speed of content appearing, quick or response time, and like page stability. To user click and loading time. This matters for payments because conversions could be a user paying for a product is dependent on how long a page takes to load. Cool, so what will Speed Insights help you monitor? Speed Insights track FCP, LCP, and INP. Core Web Vitals measure the stability, response time to user click, and loading time. I'll say of a website. This matters for payments because conversions, where a user is paying for a product, say, is dependent on how long a page takes to load, which is what we hear about up here. Cool. So we're going to enable Speed Insights now. So we'll head back to this, and we can see Speed Insights here. We can click Enable. And then now we can go and actually add these to our app. So it actually does give a good explanation of how to start here, just some basic information about what package to install, and then how to get a response from it. So we're going to send this prompt off to Cursor. So I will that there. It's a bit bigger. So we'll send this prompt off to Cursor. And then what that's going to do is it's going to go and import Speed Insights. It'll install the package, and then it'll add a little beginning and end tag so over our content, so we can see over our page, so we can see Speed Insights of it. It's really, really simple, straightforward way of understanding that. And then shortly we'll be able to go look at the I don't have to tag before I say component. Sorry. We'll have a look at the response to this once we deploy it. So what does this component do? The speed insight component injects a tiny script that measures how long your pages take to load, how quickly users can interact, and whether the layout shifts unexpectedly. This data comes from real visitors on real devices, not synthetic tests. So we can review the changes and click accept like we just did. And if it asks you to review, you just click keep. So now we're going to deploy the changes we just set up. So if we git add, git commit, so we added speed insights, and then push it. We should see something on through here. On our GitHub, just waiting for it to load. Cool. So we can see here that we added speed insights, and that's been deployed on Vercel. Very good. So yeah, close that. Awesome. So as we've just tried before, when we pushed it, it deployed. We just saw that. It's come through on here. That's great. So if it's not obvious now, Web Vitals are ways of tracking the site. Speed Insights track core Web Vitals, 3 metrics Google uses to measure user experience and track your site's search results. LCP, largest contentful paint, how long does the main content take to appear? Less than 2.5 seconds is ideal. INP, interaction to next paint, how quickly does the page respond to clicks? 200 milliseconds is good. CLS, does the layout jump around while loading? Target under 0.1 seconds. Speed Insights also track FCP, first contentful paint, and TTFB, time to first byte. These metrics directly impact user experience and SEO, search engine optimization rankings, so where you rank from Google for your page. So now we're going to go generate some traffic. So we'll go to the page. We'll click around a little bit, and then we'll be able to see, hopefully, what's going on. So we can explore the product and buy now and type some stuff in. Doesn't really matter, just trying to get on the page. So we'll return to the Insights page. We'll head back. It's a bit bigger. Cool. So we can see a very good score here, which is great. It's higher than I got here when I was setting this up. So return to the Vercel project, click Speed Insights in the navigation. You should see the Web Vitals score appearing. Obviously, this is a bit. This isn't really anything to brag about, given that we've only done one visit. It's a big deal when it's a lot of traffic you get on the site. But still good regardless. So I see performance data. We do, so we're good. But if you don't, then you can go into no data showing. There's some explanations about why you might. It could be a time thing. It could be something configured incorrectly. But if you can't get it to work, you can definitely use the ask feature here, or go chat to the Network community as well. But we'll go down this path because it's working for us. So we get a score for LCP, INP, and CLS. We see that down here. They're not in the acronym form, but that's what they are. FCP, LCP, and INP. And we can actually see that we have a yellow score here, which is kind of fair. I think the reality is with using a free service like this, you're not going to get a great like load time, especially because it's not being hosted locally, or even close to locally. This will probably be US East or something like that. So 1.8 seconds is fair. It's okay. But yeah, certainly wouldn't want to see anything in the red. But most of our stuff is green, and so that's great. If your site is performing well, green scores mean users see content quickly. LCP under 2.5 seconds. the page responds instantly to interactions, INP under 200 milliseconds. The layout stays stable while loading, CLS is under 0.1 seconds. And it is, so that's great. Why does this matter for payments? When you add Stripe checkout in Project 2, users will be entering credit card details. Obviously, it's a test, so they won't actually be entering real ones. A slow, janky checkout page destroys trust, speed, and sites. Help you catch issues before they cost you sales. Cool, let's upload a screenshot of this. What are your core web vital scores? My LCP score is, so LCP, 0.82 seconds. My INP score is 88, so 0.88 seconds. My CLS score is, we actually don't have enough data to calculate this at the moment, but that's fine. For Vercel to calculate, it says it's 0, but it's not 0, just doesn't have enough data to calculate. There's actually a counter down here. Where is it? There you go, I need 7 data points. From over here in New Zealand. These scores mean my website is performing well. And 99 OVR. Yeah. Great. So what are your your core web vital scores? My LCP score is 1.82 seconds. My INP score is 0.88 seconds, and unfortunately there's not enough data to calculate the CLS, but these scores mean my website is performing well. 99 OVR overall. What you learned, you've just set up professional performance monitoring. So something like this, well not something like this, exactly like this. Real users interact with your app, and you can monitor the dashboard. You can see information there. So you've installed the Speed Insights package in your Next.js app, added the component to track real user metrics. You now understand core web vitals, the metrics Google uses to rank sites, established a performance baseline before adding payment features. This sets you up for Project 2. You'll be able to monitor whether adding Stripe impacts your site's speed. So going further than that, if you want to dive deeper, some links here about explanations around other things you can do for performance. It's a lot, like a lot. Certainly not required for a large majority of like applications, but there's definitely great benefit to doing that in bits. But there's a lot you can do for performance. But there's some links there if you want to check that out. Cool. So before we wrap up, we'll just check if we want to clean up our resources. So we've got the resources to consider here: a Vercel project, GitHub repository, and some local files. Everything here is free. Obviously, local files to keep it free. Vercel and GitHub both free on the right here. So we're not paying for anything, so we're all good. And in this case, because I'm going to continue this project on and do the other 2 projects in the series, I won't remove anything, but you're very welcome to. You can delete your project on Vercel and go into GitHub and do the same thing. If you want to stop stuff as well, you can go into Vercel and pause deployments, take the page down. That's all good too. But I'm going to keep everything running. You can go down this path if you want to do that. I'm going to keep this up because I'm going to be working on this in the future. So so since this project uses free resources, there's no cost to keeping everything running. Recommended if your plans continue, which is what we're doing, Stripe stuff, more financial ops. If you want to show off your site to your friends, you can totally share it as well, this page. so our Vercel is going to stay active, our GitHub will stay active, the local files are going to remain inside of Cursor. Well, not inside of Cursor, on our desktop wherever we saved it. So no action needed. Cool. So what were the key tools and concepts you learned? The key tools I used include Cursor 2.0. That's a cool one. Vercel, chat supports v0 and speed insights. Key concepts I learned or include cursor component editing versus say vibe coding with like v0, and then we've also got all the stuff here about analytics and understanding core web vitals. This project took me approximately about an hour and 15 minutes. An hour. The most challenging part was understanding why core web vitals are important. Was most rewarding too. See my website live. Live. Cool. Thanks for doing this project. Why did you do this project today? Did this project meet your goals? I did this project to learn how to deploy or design and deploy a secure web app and use web app using Vercel. The skill I want to learn is setting up actual payment options on my website. Stay tuned. We're doing Stripe next. Setting that up. Cool. That's a wrap. We have. Oops, move that off the screen. That's a wrap. We'll do the quiz in a second. But you've learned how to use v0 to generate complete e-commerce site using just plain English. Deploy using Vercel, so that's automatic security protection, global CDN and DDoS protection included. Set up environment variables, variable patterns for secure secrets management, and establish a git-based deployment workflow. Push to deploy automatically. That's the Git workflow there. So it goes straight to Vercel when you push, and enabling speed insights to really look, if you did the secret mission at least, to look into core web vitals. That's how your website performs, and then as a result depicts the performance of SEO based on what Google thinks. Cool, so we'll go through and do this. How does Cursor 2.0 browser component editor assist in making UI changes? It automatically writes all the code without user input. It allows users to visually select UI elements and feed them to AI for changes, provides a terminal for command line edits, generates new e-commerce pages from scratch. So I think it does this. What are core web vitals, as mentioned in the secret mission section? Metrics for tracking website uptime and server response time. Security protocols, tools for generating AI-powered UI components, measures for the user experience related to loading, interactivity, and visual stability. We'll go with this one, I think. This is pretty close, though. I can't lie. This is this is not a bad option. I almost do wonder, but I'll go with D. So what is the purpose of connecting a Vercel account to GitHub? Providing backup for cursor to store local development environment variables, to allow Vercel to access Stripe payment information, to enable Vercel to automatically deploy code whenever changes are pushed to GitHub. Yeah, it's this guy here. What is the primary function of v0.dev in this project? To manage environment variables for secrets, to generate e-commerce UI, to deploy web app, to track user performance and metrics, to generate UI for the e-commerce platform. Which platform is used to deploy the generated e-commerce application to the web? GitHub, Vercel, Stripe, Cursor 2.0, definitely Vercel. What security features does Vercel automatically provide upon deployment? Local file encryption, HTTPS, CDN, and DDoS protection. Only DDoS, manual SSL certificate configuration. And this guy. Cool. So what's next? The financial or FinOps and AI series. So you've built a foundation, a live landing page with automatic security, but real e-commerce needs more. Project 2, adding Stripe payments. How do you accept payments securely? Project 2, you'll integrate Stripe into the checkout, handling webhooks, process payments, and turn the landing page into a real store. Project 3 is adding post-hog analysis. So this is a really big thing for web apps, understanding traffic much more than what Vercel could provide. Finding intricate ways of testing. It's a little, if you've done the Grafana project from the MZP data engineering series, it's a little bit like that in some ways, but really perfected for web apps. So that's how do you understand user behavior. Project 3 adds privacy-focused analytics to track conversions, funnels, and user journeys. We use it at Nextwork to track all our stuff. It's great. Anyway, yeah, such a great project. I definitely recommend doing this. If you haven't followed along already, I definitely recommend going through and doing so. But yeah, for sure, it's such a great project. I think it's certainly worth your time to go through and to do. But yeah, this is another project from 21, the first of the FinOps series. I really hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, share it to the Discord. If you get the chance, your documentation at the end, you can go and view your documentation or click download there and view your work throughout. Yeah, so cool. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video in the series to integrate Stripe.